Linda, there's no audio. I don't know if that is. Shall I open?
Open, please.
Okay.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Bienvenidos a todos y todas a esta Academia sobre el desarrollo rural. Para la interpretación al español, pueden encontrar un pequeño botón que dice interpretación y ahí está la interpretación al castellano. Bienvenue à toutes et à tous à cette académie sur le développement rural, édition 2023. Pour l'interprétation en français, il y a un petit bouton sur votre écran et là, vous trouverez
Bonjour.
l'interprétation. Good. Welcome everybody to the 2023 edition of the Rural Development Academy. And during this first webinar for interpretation to English, you can find a little icon on your screen that says interpretation. Welcome everybody. We are really happy to see you here during this first webinar, this opening webinar of the Rural Development Academy. We are so glad you made it here. And we are looking forward to meeting you during the next 2 weeks online and then early December for the face-to-face parts here in Turin. The Academy this year runs under the theme Social Justice for Resilient, Inclusive and Productive Rural Economies. That is our topic. And this opening webinar is to get to know each other a little bit, for you to hear about the program that we have prepared for you, and for you to be able to find your way on the electronic campus, where you will find all the materials, all the links, and for any questions that you may have. So it is not the official opening of the Rural Development Academy. That will take place on the 4th of December here in Turin, when we hope to have all of you with us. My name is Linda Delen, and I'm a manager at the International Training Center of the ILO, and I'm really happy to welcome you here. We will soon also present the rest of the team, everybody that's been working over the past months to bring this academy together. Now, why this Rural Development Academy? I think many of you are policymakers, workers' representatives, employers' representatives, practitioners in NGOs, in academic institutions, working in the rural economy. And we hope very much that this academy will bring you the latest thinking on decent work and on social justice in the rural economy. We hope that it will allow you, those weeks that we have together, to critically analyze policies, strategies, tools that can promote resilient livelihoods, that can secure decent income, and that can increase productivity in the rural economy. And we hope that it brings you some ideas as to how policymakers, institutions, ILO constituents can help rural communities to set their own pathway to transformation. So during those weeks, you will hear quite a lot about the ILO's rights-based approach to decent work in the rural economy. You will hear, of course, quite a bit about the power of social dialogue to provide rural economies with decent livelihoods. But we will also familiarize you, we hope, with the concept of the just transition to environmentally sustainable economies and societies, and what that means for workers and employers and communities in the rural economy. We will be talking about skills. We will be talking about enterprise development, sustainable enterprise development. We will be talking about the impacts of climate change. We will be talking about global supply chains, and how to create decent work in supply chains. We'll be talking about innovation, technology, but also, for instance, on capturing of data and statistics on decent work in the rural economy. Of course, gender equality will be an important aspect of the things we'll be covering here. And also in this edition, we will talk a little bit about rural tourism and its potential that it brings for diversification of rural livelihoods. Now, this academy, more than anything that I mentioned, it will also be an opportunity for you to share your knowledge with other people who are in the group. And we will be around 80 of us in Turin, many of you from very diverse backgrounds, and many of you with a lot of experience, expertise, and knowledge on decent work in the rural economy. So more than anything, we hope this academy will be an opportunity to share knowledge between you, to create networks, as after all, this academy is built around a South-South learning approach. And my colleague Nancy Pavlova will speak more about that part in the middle, in a moment. So there will be opportunities for South-South learning. There will be a knowledge fair when you are here in Turin, ample opportunities for you to share your knowledge, your point of view with the others. Now the Academy, as you can see, it's mainly organized by the International Labour Organization, but it's not just the International Labour Organization and its training center in Turin. You will also meet resource persons and people who have contributed to the design of this Academy from the FAO, from IFAD, from CARE, from the World Tourism Organization and others. So in many ways, it is a joint effort to bring this program to you. So far for what we would like to reach, what we would like to do in this Rural Development Academy. And maybe that is a good moment for me to hand over to my colleague Valtteri, and for him to take you through the agenda of the coming weeks. And I'm sharing here my screen. I hope you can see that. And Valtteri, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you, Linda. I don't see the screen yet. Now I do.
Yeah.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, also from Geneva. It is a great pleasure to once again have the Rural Development Academy up and running. So let me just briefly go through the program for the next weeks to orientate a little bit on what is awaiting us. As Linda mentioned, this is the first time that the Academy takes place in a blended format, meaning that the first 2 weeks we will be online, both through webinars and through self-guided learning modules. And then we have the third week in December in a face-to-face modality at the campus of the International Training Center of the ILO in Turin in Italy. After today's welcoming session, there will be 3 technical webinars on some key topics and with excellent speakers from the ILO. Linda, we still see the opening slide. Maybe we could move to the second one to get the program on the screen. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So this Wednesday, we will start with a webinar on a topic of a key importance. This is the fundamental principles and rights at work in the rural economy. Next week, we will then have 2 more webinars. On Monday, there will be one on the role of technologies for rural development. And on Wednesday, 22nd, there will be one on the transition from the informal to the formal economy. These webinars, they will always take place at the same time as this session now, starting at 13 hours GMT. And this, of course, is an effort to facilitate the participation of everyone, regardless of the time zone on where you are based. And the links to participate in these webinars, they will be sent to you by email. Then there are the 7 self-guided learning modules. They will be made available in the ITC Turin eCampus, and these are the modules that all participants are expected to complete by the time we start the face-to-face session in Turin. These introductory modules, they are, as you can see, they are on a variety of topics, and we hope that they will provide a good basis to build on for the week in Turin. In the timetable, you see that we have assigned the modules on different days, but these modules, they are self-paced. So it doesn't matter when you do them as long as they are completed on time and preferably in the same order as they appear here in the agenda. My colleague Elisenda, she will shortly provide a little bit more information and detail on these modules. Then the next slide, please, Linda. Then on Monday 4 December, we will all meet at the ITC campus in Turin. And also there we have a very exciting program waiting for us. The agenda there is divided between different types of sessions. We have generally in the mornings, we have what we call master classes. These are the plenary sessions on topics including the social and solidarity economy, women, climate and resilience, social dialogue in the rural economy, child labor, and the latest fundamental principle and right at work, occupational safety and health. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, we also have the elective sessions. These are a bit more participatory and interactive sessions in smaller groups, and they extend over 2 days with 2 hours both on Wednesday and on Thursday. And they take a little bit more in-depth look on, and for instance, have different case studies and different approaches on given topics. We have sessions here on supply chains, on food systems, on rural tourism, on skills, on market systems development, and on a bit more on the statistics, policy, and employment monitoring aspects. They are electives, which means that each participant will select one elective in the morning. So numbers 1, 2, 3, everyone selects one of those. And then everyone selects one in the afternoon of numbers 4, 5, and 6. You will be receiving more information on each of these electives before you travel to Turin, so that you can then make a well-informed selection on which elective you wish to enroll and participate in. And while selecting the elective, I think it's important to note that not all of them are available in all 3 languages, but some of them are only in English and French, and some in English and Spanish. So this is something that should be taken into consideration when selecting. Then, as you can see, we have a little bit, a couple of special sessions. We, of course, have the official opening on Monday morning by the director, deputy director, and officer in charge of the ILO Sectoral Policies Department, Ms. Yukiko Arai. And then we have an introductory session with CARE International, ILO, and IFAD involvement. On Monday afternoon, there is the Rural Futures Foresight exercise, a very interesting methodology on looking into how the future of work in the rural economies might look like. And then, as Linda already mentioned, on Friday, we have South-South working groups, and my colleague Nancy will brief you more about this in just a minute. And then we finish on Friday afternoon with the Knowledge Fair, which is a space for exchanging and learning. And it provides an opportunity for everyone to present their project or tool or approach or something else that might be relevant for others to be aware of and to learn, and to be able to maybe take some ideas and from those. Also of this, you will be getting more information before traveling to Turin, so you can also then prepare a little bit on what you would like to present in the Knowledge Fair. And then we will close the Academy by 17 hours on Friday afternoon, 8th of December. So this is basically what we have. Of course, no, it's not. We see the colored part on Tuesday afternoon and morning as well. So these are the famous study visits that our wonderful colleagues in Turin are putting together for you. They will take place from Tuesday morning till Tuesday afternoon, and they are basically providing a bit more hands-on experience on rural economies just outside Turin, on different visiting different rural industries and organizations, and you will be able to see these kind of approaches. And also, so everybody will participate in one study visit. There are 3 options, and more details on these will be following up as well. So that's it for the agenda. And of course, as Linda already mentioned, it is also very much the participants that make this Academy. There is so much knowledge, expertise, experience on various aspects of the rural development, rural economy in this group of participants that we will definitely get very rich, engaging discussions, and we very much look forward to that. Thank you for participating, and that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Valtteri, for taking us through the agenda. And sorry, I forgot to put my microphone on, which brings me maybe to a point here at the online phase of the Rural Academy. Lovely if some of you during the webinars can put your camera on. It is always nice to see faces and to get to know each other a little bit better before we even get here to Turin. But in case your Wi-Fi, your connection does not permit that, of course, it's also perfectly fine to join the webinars with your camera off. We would ask all of you to put off your microphone unless you are speaking, and to raise your virtual hands if you have a contribution to make. And I think that would make the webinars nicely interactive. Now, before I'm going to introduce the Academy team, we would like to know a little bit more about who you are, where you are from, and maybe a little bit about what brings you here to the Rural Development Academy. So I am going to leave in the chat a link, and here it is, a link to a virtual whiteboard. If you click on that link, you will get to a virtual whiteboard where there is a map of the world. And on the left side of that map, you will see some post-its, yellow post-its. And we would like to invite you to pick one of these post-its, to write your name and your country on that post-it. And after you have written your name or your country on that post-it, to post it on the map, to move it on the map to the country from where you are calling in. It could also be your nationality, but preferably the country where you are right now, where you are working. And I'll give everybody some time to do that. And then I will share also the map here on my screen. And I will ask some of you, once you're finished putting your name down there, what brings you here to this Rural Development Academy?
Linda,
I'd just like to hear a few people. Yes?
There is no link in the chat. Can you please resend it?
Oh.
Thank you.
Is it not there? That's strange because I see it. But let me do that again. If not, Christiana, can you also kindly share that link? Maybe there's something wrong with me here. Try it again.
Yes, now
is it there? Okay, good. So now you see the link and now you can open that virtual whiteboard and you see sticky notes on the left and a map on the right. And the invitation is to put your name on a sticky note and then move it to the country where you're presently working. And then I'll share it and ask some of you from different continents, from different parts of the world, to maybe say a few words why you are here. Now, for those who are with us using a mobile phone, it may be a little bit hard to click on that sticky note. So in that case, please share your name and your country in the chat. And then someone here in the team, Luciana, Stefania, Valtteri, maybe you can help to put all of it on our map so that it becomes complete. Let me see how you are doing. I see Edward is sharing his screen, but Edward, I'm going to overrule you and share my screen. Okay. And I see that around 40 people are here on the virtual whiteboards. So click with your mouse on one of these sticky notes. Then you should be able to write your name and your country, and then you can drag it to that map. And I see that is working well for some of you, and some of you are still struggling a little bit, but don't worry, we'll give you a little bit of time to do that. And some of them become very small. Don't be shy. You can put your name a little bit bigger. Now, sometimes if your mouse doesn't allow you to move that sticky note, you may want to click on that arrow that is there on the left. so that it works. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to ask some of you to say a few words as to what brings you here. And maybe we start in Latin America, where we have some participants joining from, I see Chile, I see Peru, I see Nicaragua, I see Argentina. Anybody want to say a few words as to what brings you here to the Rural Academy? Who can say a few words from Latin America? See if I see any volunteers. Danilo, please go ahead.
Buenos días, buenas tardes a todos y todas. Bueno, acá hay varias motivaciones que me llevan a participar en este evento. Uno, bueno, interactuar con todos los colegas del mundo sobre las experiencias que han tenido en el desarrollo rural. La segunda motivación es compartir mi conocimiento sobre las experiencias, lecciones aprendidas y buenas prácticas que hemos desarrollado en nuestros países de origen y en otras zonas donde hemos trabajado. Y tercero, un enfoque metodológico, o sea, qué metodología deberíamos estar analizando, qué estadística deberíamos estar analizando, qué software o herramientas podemos analizar para poder analizar, para poder disponer de efectos en el desarrollo rural. Porque ese es uno de los problemas más grandes, el seguimiento, la evaluación de todas las intervenciones que desarrollamos ha sido uno de los cuellos de botella en el desarrollo rural. Entonces, eso no nos ha permitido aprender, no nos ha permitido evolucionar y mejorar todas las herramientas y las estrategias que nosotros debemos de tener para mejorar nuestro desempeño en el desarrollo rural. Eso. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much, Danilo. Excellent. That is a great reason for joining a Rural Academy. Very nice to hear from you. Anybody else from Latin America? And let me see if there's a virtual hand or if there's somebody in the chat. Now, I know it's very early in some of your countries.
Hola.
Hola, hola, buenos días.
Hola.
Hola, hola, sí, la escuchamos muy bien. We hear you very well.
Ayin Punchak, muy buenos días a todos. Muchísimas gracias por este encuentro, de poder conocerlos, de poder compartir mis experiencias y que me trajo al curso es poder aprender y desaprender todos nuestros conocimientos también, ¿no? Y muchas ganas de aprender y de compartir con todos. Eso es lo que me trae al curso. Y mi nombre es Celestina Ábalos. No
Thank you
pude
so
entrar,
much.
no pude entrar ahí al mapa, así que envié por el chat mi nombre. Gracias.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Celestina. Thank you for joining us. And thank you for taking the floor for a moment. Ivan Centeno, you have the floor.
Buenos días, ¿me escuchan?
Sí.
Buenos días, me llamo Iván Centeno, soy de Panamá. Trabajo con el tema de reducción de pobreza a través de la generación de empleo, a través de los diferentes sectores y actores que tienen que ver con la parte de desempleo y el tema base es el tema rural. Así que creo que este curso, bueno, no creo, estoy seguro que es el complemento perfecto para lanzar nuestra estrategia para acelerar la reducción de la pobreza en Panamá. Saludos.
Thank you so much, Ivan Centeno from Panama. Excellent. And I see one last hand from, I think that's Latin America still, Ricardo
Bonjour.
Venegas. And then we move to another continent. Ricardo.
Muy buenos días desde Bogotá, Colombia. Mi interés por este maravilloso certamen o curso es que en Colombia se está adelantando un programa de parte del gobierno con énfasis en la reforma agraria, la distribución más equitativa de los propietarios primarios, como es la tierra. Aquí en Colombia hay una concentración de poder sobre estas tierras y estamos en un proceso de desarrollo rural impulsando la economía campesina. Por lo tanto, este curso nos llegó como mandado del cielo. Entonces, muchas gracias y estaremos muy atentos, y un saludo muy especial y fraternal desde Colombia a todos los asistentes. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, Ricardo Venegas de Colombia. And good to hear that the Academy is timely in relation to ongoing developments in Colombia. Excellent. Let us move to some other continents. I see somebody from Somalia, for instance, Qatar. I see Mozambique, I see Malawi, both in the chat and on the map, Kenya, Jordan. Who wants to take the floor? How about Somalia? Colleagues from Africa, I would like to say a few words why you are here.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Carlos Shidohamba from Namibia.
Thank you, Mr. Carlo from Namibia.
Okay, can I say a few words?
Yes,
Good
please.
afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, as I said, I'm Carlos Shidohamba from Namibia. I work for the government of the Republic of Namibia as a deputy director responsible for planning, monitoring, and evaluation in the Department of Rural Development. So I deal with programs and projects that addresses rural communities' problems. And the reason why I came to the Academy, I want to learn more from other countries in the world, how they dealt with their problems, the rural problems of the communities, and what are the best practices, so that I can tap into their experience to implement in my country after the learning their experiences. I'm also interested in the innovative approaches to transform the rural economy, particularly dealing with issues of informality, how we can do better to transform our informal economies into formal economies, so that our rural people can be in the mainstream of economic development. And in that way, also be able to reduce poverty in our country. So
Perfect.
Namibia, yeah, these are some of the reasons. Let me give the chance to others.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For taking the floor from Namibia. And I see Cletus Chisanga.
Yes,
Cletus,
good
what brings
afternoon.
you here? Good afternoon.
We have at least a very fruitful day, and this meeting is quite fruitful, even if we are just starting, but I can see its fruitfulness. So I work for Youth and Community community prevention programs in Chirondo district, where the main office is. We are promoting youth employment in rural communities of the Republic of Zambia and protection through various interventions, which is in informal employment and formal employment. We have seen that in Zambia, it is one of the countries with the poor development, especially in rural communities. So we are trying to promote employment in such communities so that at least, even if one is in the rural community, is able to understand the economical situation and how Zambia can develop through informal and informal settings. So briefly, that's what I can say.
Thank you. Thank you, Cletus. Thank you. And lovely to have you on board from Zambia. One more participant from Africa, Sabi or Noha, who would like to take the floor?
Bonjour, bonjour tout le monde.
Bonjour, Monsieur Sabi.
Oui, je suis Sabi de la Tunisie. Je travaille avec la direction. Je travaille avec la Direction générale des forêts. Transition. Oui, et donc notre mission est basée sur la conservation des ressources naturelles. Et on s'est rendu compte que cette conservation des ressources naturelles, elle est tributaire d'un développement local et rural pour un peu améliorer la situation de la population. Et c'est quelque chose qui est indispensable pour conserver les ressources naturelles. Il faut vraiment assurer un certain développement durable de la population. Et donc, l'intérêt de joindre ce cours, c'est d'être à jour et de partager nos expériences ainsi que de bénéficier de l'expérience des autres collègues en termes de développement rural afin d'atteindre un objectif de conservation des ressources naturelles en Tunisie. Et merci.
Thank you very much. Excellent. And thank you for joining us from Tunisia. I see a nice delegation from Moldova, from Europe. Yeah. But we could also move to Asia, where I see, for instance, Cambodia, Indonesia. I'd like to invite a lady to speak and tell us why she is here. Anybody from Indonesia? From
Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello,
Good night.
Maria.
Yes. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Marja Yulianti, and I'm from Indonesia. I work at Indonesian Palm Oil Association, especially in Labor Affairs or HR department under Women and Children Protection Compartment. Yes, I'm very grateful was invited to join this course, and I'm so and I'm so excited to follow this course. I hope we can build some good network also, and see you at Turin on December. And actually, I want to learn more from Rural Academic. I want to learn more about how to develop a rural, and also I want to get the new insight to protect and how to strengthen the program, especially for women and children protection, and how we can improve to women employment in the next year and again. And also we can bond this group, I think, so we can each other, we can share each other how we can make the new program. So especially for Indonesian Palm Oil Association, we can make sustainable to palm oil especially. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you. And it was really lovely to hear from some of you from where you are calling in and why you are So excited to join this program. Now I see a couple more hands, but there will be ample possibilities to share with the others and to share your experiences. So maybe for now we move on. And in the meanwhile, we got a nice map, and I see some of you still struggling a little bit with the map, but that's all fine. We will try to complete it and share it also on the electronic campus. So thank you for those introductions. And let me now quickly introduce the team here, as promised. And I hope you can see, oh, you can see this. Here we are. Yeah. Can you see us here? Christiana Actis has been in touch with a lot of you. And she works here in the team at the ITC ILO. We are sitting in the same office. And thank you, Christiana, for being with us today. Elvis Betulayev works at ILO headquarters in the ILO Department for Sectoral Policies, and he will also definitely be with us here in Turin, speaking about some of the important topics related to decent work and plantations. Anita Amorim, ILO headquarters in Geneva, and she has been looking after the South-South approach of this academy. Linda, that's me. Elisenda Estruch, also a specialist at the Department for Sectoral Policies at the ILO, and you will meet her in a moment as she is going to give some more explanation about the self-guided modules. Marianne Sportuni, head of unit at the Sectoral Policies Department at the ILO. Valtteri, you already know him, Valtteri Katayamaki. He just took us through the agenda, also from the ILO Department of Sectoral Policies. Anastasia, or Nancy Pavlova, works with Anita Amorim on South-South cooperation, and she will be speaking in a minute. And Stefania Perniola, who, together with Christiana Actis, has been looking at the administrative and logistical organization, bringing in the different resource persons, working on the translation of the modules also that you will get to know. So that is the team that we have here, and that has been preparing this academy for you. Now, with that introduction of the team, let me hand over to Anastasia Pavlova, because as mentioned, South-South and triangular cooperation is an important aspect of this academy. Some of you are here with a South-South scholarship, but there is more to the South-South angle of this academy than that, and I think Anastasia, Nancy will be in the best position to comment on that. So Anastasia, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, colleagues, for your presentation. It's lovely to be here with you today, and really warm welcome to our first e-meeting for this course, for this academy. I hope it will be interesting and useful for you, and I believe you will learn a lot of new information. Also, using the opportunity, I'd like to thank all of you sending for us good practices for South-South and triangular cooperations. I promise that I expect that no later than the next summer we will make a publication of collection of good practices for the past biennium. And yes, I'm very glad that we are able to include the South-South and triangular cooperation aspect in this academy, and use this as an opportunity of promotion, because the ILO is committed to promote SSTC, recognizing it as a key way to promote decent work for all. Let me say in a few words what is South-South and triangular cooperation, and to explain what we expect to work with. First of all, we should say that this type of cooperation has two modalities. This is South-South cooperation and triangular cooperation, where we see South-South cooperation as a coordination between two countries from Global South, and demanded by solidarity and non-conditionality principles. And we also have another modality of triangular cooperation, which involves also northern, such so-called traditional partner from, for example, G7, where the partner from North share their experiences, also good practices, can add some funding, but still all this is all based on non-conditionality principle and driven by southern countries. Also, there exist sub-modalities of cooperation, which includes regional cooperation, sub-regional cooperation, inter-regional cooperation, city to city, fragile to fragile, and the standing last but not least, cooperation among small island developing states. I really encourage you to read more about SSTC, about its principles and its basis from BAPA plus 40 documents, which was adopted in the final documents were adopted in 2016 year in Buenos Aires. It's Buenos Aires Plan of Action, and it includes all of the main details, concepts, principles, definitions, and all the keystones for South-South and triangular cooperation. And I absolutely sure that this document will be very useful for you in terms of working. A few words to wrap up what we expect and what we hope to see at the end of Academy is, of course, the new emerging partnerships between you and your colleagues from different countries from Global South, the establishing of new connections, and some maybe foreseeing some possible projects which you can collaborate together and well, bring more, make them more efficient in terms of cooperation together. And well, with this, I will get back floor to Linda, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Hope to see you into it.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thank you. Thank you for giving an explanation on that South-South angle of the Rural Development Academy. And I see a hand from Mai Abdel. I'm going to give you the floor in a minute, Mai Abdel. But let me, before that, give the floor to Elisenda. Because Elisenda will tell us a bit more about these self-guided learning modules. There are 7 of them that are an integral part of the online segment of the Rural Development Academy. And I'm showing them at this moment at the screen. You see the self-guided modules here. For those who are Spanish and French speaking, this same presentation has been shared with you in the chat. So if you open it, you will be able to see the titles of the self-guided modules in French and in Spanish. And with that, let me hand over to Elisenda.
Thanks a lot, Linda, and welcome to all the participants. It's great to see so many people interested on rural issues connected at the same time. So that's refreshing for all of us, and I look forward to the next steps. So my duty today is to present you about these self-guided learning modules. It's been a journey to develop them together with the colleagues in Turin and many colleagues also from other technical departments. And they are meant to provide you an introductory overview to the key topics, terms, approaches that relate to the rural economy. So far, we have 7 modules. The first 2 deal on key terms and key policy issues to consider when we are developing or implementing, or somebody mentioned monitoring, interventions that relate to promote this and work in the rural economy. Then you have 4 more modules that go from just transition to gender equality and women's empowerment in rural areas, as well as youth and extending social protection in the rural economy. These 4 modules go a little bit more in depth into some key policy areas that we pay particular attention in our work. And last but not least, there is a 7th module that gives you a perspective from a sectoral point of view. We have focused on tourism in view of its potential for job creation, and also bearing in mind the challenges and opportunities for promoting decent work in that sector. And it's been developed together with the World Tourism Organization. So it will give you yet another perspective on that. Just to reiterate what has been said, they are meant to be self-paced. We expect from you to go through them in these weeks that you will be connecting online to the Academy. They are all available in the 3 languages in the campus, and then they will explain how to access them subsequently. And we hope that what you will learn through these modules will allow you to go more in depth when we will have the electives, the plenaries, but even the webinars all through the Rural Development Academy. All of them follow more or less the same structure. So as I said, you will see key concepts, approaches, but they are meant to be interactive. So there are examples, there are some quizzes, and at the end of each module, you will find a list of resources in case you are interested to go more in depth in any aspect that it's been covered in each of them. And with that, I hope you will enjoy them. And see you in Turin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Elisenda, for that introduction on the self-guided modules. And I will, in a moment, show you around on the electronic campus. And there you will see the modules as well. Yeah. But maybe before I do that, I saw there were some hands raised, so maybe some questions or some inputs. And let us see for a moment if there are any questions or any inputs. Noha Mohammed. You've been having your hand up for quite a while, please.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Hello, everyone. I don't know if you are hearing me or not.
We are hearing you well.
Okay, good. My name is Noha Mohammed Jibril. I'm from Sudan, but living in Jordan. As a former UNHCR field coordination officer, I was working with refugees in Azraq camp in the area of livelihood issue. So when you are just like giving us an introduction about the training, actually it came to my mind what happened right now in my country, like this internal, let us say, war. Then I think like the module for rural development, it will be a good when the peace settle. Hopefully it will be soon in Sudan. I'm thinking like, because you have mentioned, Alessandra, about the challenges and the opportunities, and it really appeared now where is the gap in rural development outside the capital. For instance, in Khartoum, now people are suffering because there is no decent work. So all of these, I guess it will give us a more input, and I'm going to learn more about you from you and my colleagues. So actually this is behind from my objectives that I applied before. So when you are introducing all these ideas or thoughts came to my mind, and definitely we have to think about the sustainability and continuity of the rural development. So I guess I'm gonna learn from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Noha, and thank you for sharing a little bit about the very difficult situation in Sudan. We hope indeed that all the content of this academy is useful in the present situation, and as you are saying, even more when peace is established. We hope you can make it here safely to Turin in a couple of weeks, and very much looking forward to meeting you here. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions on what was presented on the self-guided module, or shall we go into the electronic campus then? I don't see any urgent hands at this moment? Ah, yeah, Mai Abdel. I think I saw your hand before. Please.
Yeah, sorry, I made the round of introductions. I'm Maya Abdurrahman from UNDP Egypt, and looking forward to meet you all in person. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mai. And likewise, very much looking forward to meeting you. Okay, so let me give you a quick tour through the eCampus. And if I'm not mistaken, you should have all received a link to the electronic campus of the Rural Academy, of the Rural Development Academy, together with your credentials. Now, if you have an issue with your credentials, please let us know as soon as possible. Write to me, to Christiana, to Stefania, and we will try to solve the issues. Normally, when it's your first time you are invited to the ITC ILO campus, eCampus, everything works well. But should you have been on the eCampus before and you have forgotten your password, that happens, of course, then you may be having some trouble to access it this time. And there we are really at your disposition to, at your availability to help you. So when you access the eCampus, this is more or less what you will see. And let me switch my role to student so that it is exactly what you will see. You will see the eCampus, the title, and you will see here the possibility to change your language to Spanish or French. And then you will see, of course, the same thing in those languages. Here, you will see the Academy agenda, the agenda that was just presented, and you will see the Academy news. Yeah, thank you. Oh. Okay, we had a little background noise. And you will see the information note here. It opens in PDF version. And then you will see week 1, where the activities in accordance with the agenda, they go day by day. So right now we are here, Monday, the 13th of November, and you are part of this webinar, the welcome session, where you see that it takes place in Zoom. You have the link to stop. Little bit of background noise, sorry. And then for tomorrow, as you see, in accordance to the agenda, there are the first 2 self-guided learning modules. And I'm just going to click on one so that you see how that works. So self-guided learning, decent work in the rural economy, a priority agenda. And you can enter here. And when you enter, you find yourself right away in that first module. Yeah. And I'm going, oh, for some reason I logged in lesson 4 because I'm a good student who already completed this module, in fact. But normally you should get into the introduction, yeah? Lesson 1 of 4. Welcome to this module on decent work in the rural economy, a priority agenda. And you will see the learning objectives. Are you with me? Yeah. Okay, some short reading. And here you are meeting Anita, the owner of a small dairy farm in Suriname, and her short story, a little explanation about major transformative changes in the world of work. Yeah, you are meeting a young farm worker from Kenya, Paul. Yeah, some short reading, and somebody from Vietnam, some concepts that are explained. Yeah, some data that are provided about the rural share of the population and the rural share of the poor in different regions. And here you see what Elisenda already mentioned, there's some questions. So for instance, this table, what does it actually tell you? Yeah, and you can give an answer. And in my case, I gave the incorrect answer, yeah? Sorry, try again, it then says. So,
Sorry, Linda, to interrupt you.
Yeah?
Seems like we're not seeing the score module. We're just seeing the main screen. Like you're sharing the main page.
Okay. The main page of, does this improve things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we see the module. Okay.
Now you see the module.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So quickly showing it again, the introduction. Yeah, the learning objectives. The owner of a small dairy farm, the young farm worker, a young entrepreneur from Vietnam, some concepts, some data, and a question. Yeah. Which if I take it again, now I submit the right answer. Oh no, I did not. All right. Yeah, some more data. What did this graph tell you? So as you see, they are interactive learning modules. But also learning modules where it's not just data and text, but they're actually people from different parts of the world, entrepreneurs, workers, farmers, giving their view on the different topics. Yeah? And you get into a new lesson here with the lesson about decent work. Yeah. Again, a question. So, yeah, that is what these modules look like. And let me go back to the eCampus now. And back to the main page. Yeah. So that was the self-guided learning module on decent work in the rural economy, a priority agenda. Here's the one on policies for decent work in the rural economy. And as you can see, on Wednesday, then again, we have a webinar planned on promoting fundamental principles and rights at work in the rural economy. Same time, 1 p.m. GMT. And here you have the link, which happens to be also the same link. And then for Thursday and Friday, there are other self-guided modules on the just transition towards a resilient and sustainable rural economy and on advancing towards gender equality and women's empowerment in rural areas. Yeah. Then we will soon have the content for week 2. And on the eCampus, you will, at the very end of the Rural Development Academy, you will find there the final evaluation, and you will find there also the certificates upon completion of all the different segments of the Academy. Now here on the right, you see completion status. We will be able to see if you have completed the self-guided modules. We will be able to follow if you have joined the webinars, and we will, of course, be able to monitor your participation here in Turin. And those are important aspects because for the certification of the Rural Development Academy, we require an 80% participation in the self-guided modules, in the webinars, and of course here also in Turin. There it is also important for you to know that the recordings of the webinars will all be available on the eCampus. Also, the presentations that are shared during the webinars will be available on the eCampus. So should you miss a webinar, two things. One, kindly let us know in advance. And we will share our email address once more in the chat. So let us know if you cannot make it to one of the webinars, but then you will be able to find the recording of each webinar on the eCampus under the right heading. So for instance, the recording and the presentations of today's webinar will be shortly here under the header of Monday, 13th of November. Let me briefly just show you so that our French and our English speakers actually believe us. Yeah, here goes the version in French with the information note and the program and all the self-guided modules in French. Okay, and I think a question from Noha. Noha? Or is that an old hand that I'm seeing? We can't hear you. You're muted.
She's a mute.
Yeah,
She's a mute.
yeah, it's working now. So actually I have two questions. The first one, I'm gonna start with the last one actually. You have mentioned that in case of missing webinar in future, so to whom, which I mean, we have tried or to inform. If there is any executive person, we have to inform. The second question is from the self-guided modules, are you able to monitor and interact with us in terms of when we have some kind of questions or feedback or something like that? So this might be two questions. Thank you.
Yes. So in fact, the email address was just shared rural@itcilo.org in case you cannot make it to one of the webinars. Now, in case you have a question on one of the self-guided learning modules, feel free to write to the same email address. And then from that email address, it will be sent to the different experts within the team. So we're happy to answer you over the email. Now we will also, now that this group has formed, we will create a forum on the eCampus. We will do that language by language. And on that forum, you can also post your own topic. Yeah. So for instance, if you are going through the self-guided learning module on the just transition and you think, hey, this is actually a topic of interest, I have some questions and some things I want to share, then you can start a conversation on that topic. We will also be looking at these forum posts and try to answer some of the comments and the questions that are there. Now, we do not have a lot of webinars during the online phase of the Rural Development Academy. In fact, we have only 5. So we don't have that many moments to discuss content online. But then, as you will see, NOAA participants, many of the contents of the self-guided learning module will one way or the other also come back in the face-to-face segment here in Turin. And here, of course, there will be other moments to discuss some of the content.
Yeah, actually, it's good that we have to have a forum at the end or by the end of the training, so we can all discuss and share from our experiences.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. And that is also what that last short webinar next Friday afternoon is about. When we kind of close the online phase, we will have a moment to reflect on some of the topics that you have been going through during the online phase. And then we won't see each other for a week before you arrive in Turin. Let me check in the chat whether there are any... Oh, some of you have not received yet the link to the electronic campus. We will definitely make sure that you have it. And again, you know, if you don't receive it and it is not in your trash somehow or in your undesired mail, then write to us on rural@itcilo.org and we will get back to you with the necessary information. So don't wait until next week, Friday, to let us know that something is not going for you, not going well for you. Let us know right away. All right. So once more, requirements for certification, 80% of participation in both the online phase and the face-to-face here in Turin. And if that is completed, you will receive from us the physical certificate in Turin as well as a digital certificate that is also you can, even if you lose it, you can 5 years later we will still find it back in the system. So that's an electronic certificate. The eCampus will also have all of the presentations and all of the materials that will be shared during the face-to-face segment in Turin. We will post everything on the eCampus in the 3 languages. And that eCampus will be available for another year. Now, if there are certain materials that you really are really important for you, I would always advise you to download them straight away so that you have them. But they will be available for another year. The self-guided learning modules are not downloadable. So that is learning content that can only be accessed through the eCampus. And you will not be able to kind of download them to your own computer. So be aware of that. Yeah? And as I think Valtteri or Elisenda were mentioning, there is quite a bit of self-learning here. If you get a little bit behind for a couple of days, it doesn't matter. Then you still have a week in between the online part and the part here in Turin to catch up on the last bits. Edward. Edward, I see your hand.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well.
Yeah, I wanted to ask on the same, on the self-guiding modules. I have seen that you have allocated specific days. Now my question is, are we supposed to complete the self-guiding modules on the allocated days, or they can still be done on other separate days? Thank you.
There is flexibility there. Also because we know that you are all very busy people who have a day job, all right? At least during the weeks that the online phase is going on. So do not worry, but try to move on. So, so that by the time we get together here in Turin, you make sure that you have them finalized. It is also, I think, very good for the discussions that we can have here in Turin if you have finalized the self-guided modules. So that gives you kind of, you know, the basic knowledge on the different topics. And then in our discussions, in our sessions here in Turin, we can kind of build on that without having to go back to those basics. So no, they don't have to be completed on the day itself, but try to have it completed before arrival here in Turin. And that brings us to our 75 minutes that we had together. Yes, Celestina, last question for you.
Sí, solamente comentarte que yo ingreso al campus, pero no puedo abrir o no puedo ver los materiales, luego me comunicaré por el correo, así me ayudan.
Okay, yes, sure. We've noted it down, Celestina, and let us know what is happening. Let us figure out what is happening, and I'm sure we will make that work for you. So thank you. All right, so thank you so much. Oh, Abu Bakr?
Yes, thank you. My name is online.
Oh, we have difficulty hearing you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, try. It's breaking a little bit.
It's okay. Yeah, I have a comment like all and students different account and for you and education and online we are.
The sound is breaking. The sound is breaking, Abu Bakr Ahmed. Maybe you can write in the chat. Sorry about that. Christine.
Yeah, hi everyone, Christine Paco. I just wanted to let you know, if you were like me and didn't receive the link to join, your team has helped me, and I realized just now that it was sent to my junk mail or your spam box, so have a look there. That's where mine just ended up just a few minutes ago, so it works, but it didn't reach my inbox, so check everywhere first. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Christine. Yes, that's what happens quite a bit. So look at your junk mail and see if it's there, but also feel absolutely free to write to us if you can't get in there. Thank you. Thank you so much, and looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday for the next webinar on fundamental principles and rights at work in the rural economy. Again, it's a short webinar, just 75 minutes. Good luck with the eCampus and with the first learning modules, and see you on Wednesday. Bye for now. Have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Buenos días, hasta luego.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye bye.